Most people haven't carried the wrong gun. They've carried the wrong version of the right gun, the one that felt perfect under bright store lights, then printed the second they sat down. The one that felt easy until sweat, holster rub, and a long day turned it into something they kept adjusting like a bad habit. I caught myself in a rough parking lot, hand on the grip, and my brain wasn't tracking people or exits. It was running a different thought. Please don't make me fight this holster and this grip right now. That little doubt hit harder than any jam, because it meant I had chosen comfort over confidence. That's what essential meant here. Not perfect, not trendy. The handguns that survived real carry. Weight, thickness, grip comfort, sweat, printing, and the quiet mental side of trust. One of the most hyped carry guns in America didn't survive my belt, and the number one pick didn't win by being the smallest or the loudest. I trusted the Glock 43 XMOS longer than I should have. It felt responsible. It ran. It never embarrassed me. The 43 XMOS was the gun I grabbed when I didn't want drama. Thin enough to call it concealment friendly, big enough to feel capable, reliable enough that my brain relaxed. For a while, that was the whole sales pitch. Daily carry never exposed flaws all at once. It whispered them. Sitting down and feeling the grip nudge my shirt. Bending over and realizing slim didn't mean small. Heat and sweat made the holster bite. And I kept doing tiny, quiet adjustments I pretended were normal. Nothing failed. That was the trick. On the range, the Glock 43 XMOS stayed boring and predictable. Clean draws, clean hits, no surprises. Then real life showed up. I caught myself in a parking lot with my hand near the grip, and my attention wasn't on people or exits. It was on whether that grip was printing again. That shift hit harder than a malfunction. I didn't hate it, I just realized it wasn't winning anything. It survived on familiarity, and it tempted me into fixing it just to feel settled. Once that doubt moved in, it didn't move out. One afternoon, my G3C jammed, not once, twice, same lane. I cleared it, blamed the ammo, blamed the mags, blamed my grip, blamed anything but the gun. Driving home, that quiet confidence wasn't there anymore. A buddy said, if you're sticking with Taurus, get the GX4 Carry, it's different. I didn't want to hear that. The G3C had been my argument, my budget-proof defense. Switching felt like admitting I'd defended the wrong hill. I bought the Taurus GX4 Carry mostly to prove it wouldn't matter. When the heat hit, I carried it every day. Long drives, sweat, gas stations after dark. I kept expecting the GX4 Carry to choke like the G3C did. Cheap ammo, no special treatment, it just ran. That's what messed with me. The Taurus GX4 Carry didn't earn trust with a speech. It stole it by refusing to give me an excuse, and the more it stayed boring, the more I realized the real failure wasn't the jam. It was how hard I fought to pretend it wasn't a warning. If you've ever defended a gun harder than you've trained with it, you know that feeling. The next pistol on this list pushed that same nerve. I don't leave carry guns alone. New optic plates, trigger swaps, grip tape phases. I tell myself it's performance, but half of it is just control. If I'm tweaking it, I'm managing it. That's how I've always operated. The Ruger RXM broke that pattern. I bought it expecting to change something. I didn't. No optic obsession, no trigger chase, no late night forum dives. I just carried it. Weeks passed, and I caught myself not researching parts. That felt strange. Then one night, I heard something downstairs. Not dramatic, just a hard, out-of-place sound. The kind that pulls you upright before your brain finishes the sentence. I reached for the Ruger RXM from the nightstand. And in that second, I wasn't thinking about grip texture. I wasn't thinking about reset. I wasn't thinking about what I should have upgraded. My head was clear. That's when it hit me. The silence in my mind wasn't confidence from mods. It was confidence from not needing them. I used to think fixing meant refining. Turns out it meant I didn't trust it yet. And once that clicked, I couldn't unsee how much energy I'd wasted trying to improve guns that were never staying anyway. I walked into a California shooting club with the Beretta APX A1 Carry on my hip, thinking I'd made the smart choice. Slim, practical, no drama. I wasn't trying to impress anybody. I just wanted something that carried easy and didn't give me problems. On the line, the Beretta APX A1 Carry ran. That wasn't the relief I expected. It was this weird, slow annoyance. Every draw felt a half beat late, like my grip never locked the same way twice. The trigger brake wasn't horrible, but it felt mushy under speed, and the sights didn't snap back the way I wanted. I could hit. I just had to work harder than I should have to look competent. Driving out, it finally connected to daily carry. If I'm having to convince myself it's enough on a flat range, what am I doing at 9 p.m. in a parking lot? That's when it started feeling like a backup I was pretending was a primary. It worked. I didn't believe in it. The Beretta APX A1 Carry stays on this list, just not higher. It's a smart pick until you feel the quiet gap between it works and I trust it. And the next gun on this list has already shown me what it looks like when a pistol refuses to feel secondary, even when everything around it got ugly. Last summer, I was running the HKVP9 in brutal heat, the kind that makes your shirt stick to your back before you even load the first mag. The VP9 felt solid in my hand. Grip biting through sweat. I wasn't sharp. My draws were slow. My focus drifted. Steel that should have been easy took effort. The HKVP9 kept tracking flat, snapping back on target like it didn't care how tired I was. Then I clipped it. I set the HKVP9 on a rough bench to wipe my face, and my slick hand knocked it straight into gravel. Not a test, not planned. Just a sloppy mistake in the middle of a drained afternoon. The sound hit hard. I picked up the HKVP9, dust grinding against the slide, racked it, and pressed out again. It ran. No hesitation, no drama. And standing there, brushing it off, I caught myself thinking, if that had been your carry gun, would you be checking the slide right now, or questioning why you trusted it? That day wasn't about tight groups. It was about exposure. When I'm exhausted and off my game, I don't need a pistol that adds doubt. The HKVP9 didn't demand perfection. It demanded nothing and kept working. I had coffee with an old friend in Virginia City, the kind of guy who didn't talk like a gun form, even though he'd worn a badge a long time. Not older than me, but he'd already lived through enough nights to make preferences sound stupid. I asked him what he carried when he wasn't on duty, expecting some classic answer. He didn't hesitate. He said the Walther PDP Compact had ended the debate for him. He told me the duty gun was work, off-duty carry was personal. He'd carried other pistols that looked right on paper, but when he got tired, rushed, or had one hand occupied, they started demanding attention. The PDP didn't. He said the first time he grabbed it off shift, he noticed something that pissed him off in a good way. His grip landed the same, the gun came up the same, and his head stayed on the problem instead of the pistol. That was his line. If I'm thinking about the gun, I picked wrong. I didn't nod and smile. I carried in Texas. I've been stubborn about what stayed on my belt. But I ran the Walther PDP Compact the same way I lived, not like a demo day, and I ended up admitting the same thing he did. The PDP Compact didn't feel like a hobby choice. It felt like a decision. I carry the M&P Shield Plus like it's part of my routine, not part of my collection. It's the gun that keeps ending up in the holster, even when I tell myself I'm going to rotate something else. And the reason is simple. It fits. Not fits on paper. Fits the way a real carry gun has to fit when you're moving all day. Sweating, sitting, bending, getting in and out of a truck, living like a normal person. The Shield Plus locks into my holster like it was made for it. No shifting, no hot spots, no constant tugging my shirt down, no adjusting in parking lots. It disappears when I need it to, and it shows up the same way every time my hand touches the grip. That consistency builds trust you don't get from a clean range lane. I trust this thing more than I trust my own mood, because the Shield Plus has never tried to surprise me, never forced forgiveness, and never picked the worst moment to feel different. It just stays honest. And if that sounds like comfort, good, because the next gun on this list doesn't care about comfort. It demands something back. I started calling the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro the Goblin because it felt like it was sneaking around my standards. Small frame, sharp recoil, high capacity for its size. It didn't look like something that should threaten anything serious. On range days, I trusted the Hellcat Pro without thinking too hard about it. It ran clean. It snapped back on target faster than I expected. I wasn't analyzing it. I was just shooting it. That's what made it dangerous. Somewhere in the middle of a long session, I caught myself comparing it to my Glock 19. Not to other slim carry guns, not to other micros, to the Glock 19. That's not a casual comparison. That's territory. The Glock 19 has been the mental baseline for what a real carry pistol should feel like. Size, control, presence. You don't move that standard lightly. But the Hellcat Pro kept tracking flat, kept holding capacity, kept giving me splits that didn't feel like a compromise. It wasn't acting like a backup. It was acting like it deserved the same job. I'm not saying it replaced the Glock 19. I'm saying the fact that I even had that thought was a problem. The Goblin didn't ask for permission. It just started standing in the same space. I stopped being careful with this one. The CZ P10C wasn't a fall-in-love gun for me. It was a pressure gun. The more I pushed it, the more it kept rewarding bad behavior. Faster draws, sloppier stance, shorter pauses. I started running it like I was trying to catch it failing. Like I wanted it to finally punish me for getting greedy. It didn't. That's what made it dangerous. Some pistols beg you to slow down and shoot politely. The P10C felt like it was daring me to speed up. It came back on target fast, stayed planted, and kept stacking hits, even when I was shooting like I had something to prove. I wasn't treating it like a range toy. I was treating it like a work gun, and it kept acting like it belonged there. At some point, I realized the shift. I wasn't asking, can it do this? I was asking, how far can I take it before I'm the weak link? That's a brutal place to be, because it exposes you instead of the pistol. That's why the CZ P10C sits at number 2. It doesn't just perform. It drags you into a higher tempo and makes you stay there. And if that sounds like control, good, because the number 1 pick isn't a tempo gun. It's a decision gun. I didn't announce it. I didn't make a final choice speech. One day I just realized the IWI Masada had been the gun that kept ending up on my belt. Not because it was the smallest or the fastest, it just didn't create problems I had to manage. It carried clean. It sat right. It came out the same way every time, like it belonged there. It's what separated it. With a lot of pistols, there's always a little negotiation in your head. You adjust, you second guess, you tell yourself it's fine. With the Masada, my hand hits the grip and my brain stays quiet. No micro corrections, no mental checklist, no, I should have brought the other one. It's just there, consistent. And that consistency does something most guns never do. It stops the conversation. Be honest with yourself for a second. When was the last time you stopped comparing? Not for a week, not for a range day. I mean, actually stopped. If you're still rotating through almost perfect options every couple months, what are you chasing? And why hasn't anything settled yet? Some guns win arguments at the range. The IWI Masada made me stop arguing at all. After carrying these, essential, stopped sounding like a compliment and started sounding like a decision. Every pistol on this list cost something. A little comfort, a little concealment, a little capacity, a little ego. The only reason they stayed was because the trade-off stayed worth it after the long days, the sweat, the printing checks, the holster wear, and the moments where your hand touched the grip and your brain stayed quiet. If your carry gun has only impressed you at the range, that has already explained the doubt you felt in real life. And if one of these picks irritated you, good. That irritation has usually been the exact place people learn the truth. Drop the one you trusted and the one you quietly quit. I'm Steve. Carry what stays honest after the whole day, not what sounded right at the counter.